There's a moment every man recognizes but almost never names out loud. It's the moment her texts get shorter, the moment "I'm busy" starts sounding like a wall instead of an excuse, the moment you realize you've read the same message 3 times, trying to figure out what changed. And here's what nobody tells you. The thing you do in that exact moment decides everything that happens next. Most men panic. They explain. They apologize for things they didn't even do wrong. They send the paragraph they'll regret in an hour. But there's a small group of men who do something different, something almost nobody teaches, and it's the reason she ends up chasing them instead. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what that difference is and why it works even on a woman who swears she doesn't care. Section 1. The moment everything shifts. It usually starts small. A slower reply, a flatter tone, a LOL where there used to be 3 paragraphs. You tell yourself it's nothing. Then it happens again. And your mind, because it's trying to protect the relationship, jumps straight into fix-it mode. You ask if she's okay. She says fine. You ask again, worded differently, hoping this time she'll open up. You start explaining your feelings in detail, hoping clarity will bring her back. And somewhere in all of that effort, something quietly flips. You stop being the man she was drawn to, and you start being the man trying to convince her to stay. She may never say this out loud, but she feels it. She feels that her distance is producing your energy. She feels that pulling back gets her more attention, not less. And once a woman notices that her silence controls your mood, the entire emotional balance of the relationship has already tilted in her favor, whether she meant for it to or not. 2. Why explaining makes it worse. Here's the uncomfortable truth. She already knows when she's being distant. She knows her replies got shorter. She knows the warmth left the conversation. A woman doesn't need you to point that out to her. She's aware of it long before you say anything. So when you explain your hurt feelings, you're not giving her new information. You're giving her a new target. Suddenly, the conversation isn't about her energy shifting first. It's about you being too much, too sensitive, and too needy. The story flips, and now you're playing defense in an argument you didn't even start. This is exactly why over-explaining backfires. It hands her an easy way to avoid the real question, well, why did she pull away in the first place, and replaces it with an easier one. Why are you reacting like this? Section 3. Real silence versus fake silence. Now, silence sounds simple. Stop texting, stop chasing, done. But most men get this completely wrong, and that's why it doesn't work for them. Fake silence looks like this. You stop sending messages, but you check your phone every 4 minutes. You don't text her, but you post a suspiciously deep quote on your story at midnight. You go quiet on the outside while your whole mind is still sitting by that phone waiting. That's not silence. That's a performance of silence, and women can spot it instantly because the energy behind it still smells like begging. Real silence is different. It's not a tactic you announce. You don't send a farewell paragraph explaining that you're taking space. You simply stop pouring your attention into a place where it isn't being handled with care, and you go live your actual life. You sleep properly, you get back to your work, you respond to the people who are already showing up for you with the same energy you give them. That's when it starts to register with her, not because you punished her, because for the first time your absence feels cleaner than your presence used to. Natural mid-roll. Subscribe moment. Now, if this is hitting close to home, you're exactly the kind of person this channel was built for. Men who want real clarity on how women actually think, not the sugar-coated version. Hit subscribe now, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens inside her mind once your silence starts working, and how to handle it if she comes back. You don't want to miss that part. Section 4. Why she doesn't see it coming. Here's why this shift catches her so off guard. She already has a version of you memorized. The man who checks in after she goes cold. The man who softens things after she gives attitude. The man who sends a second message when the first one gets left unread. She's seen the pattern before. She pulls back, you lean in. She gets distant, you get more available. That rhythm has repeated so many times it's become predictable. And predictable over time starts to feel guaranteed. So the very first time you break that script, when she sends a dry reply and you simply don't chase the warmth back, it registers loudly in her mind, even if her face stays completely calm. She expected a reaction. She expected the usual questions. Instead, she gets quiet confidence, and that unpredictability is what makes her start paying attention again. 5. What her silence was actually hiding. Here's something most people never consider. When you're always available, your effort becomes invisible. The morning text becomes routine. The quick reply becomes expected. The patience you show when she's moody becomes background noise she barely registers. Constant access quietly erases value. Not because you did anything wrong, but because when something is always there, the mind stops noticing it. You were filling every gap so smoothly that she never had to feel what it would be like without you filling it. Then the messages stop, and suddenly there's a gap she has to sit inside. No good morning text, no check-in after a long day, no one reacting first to her post. That absence does something your words never could. It lets her feel directly what she'd actually be losing. Section 6. What happens when she comes back? If she does come back, and often she will, this is the part where most men throw away everything they just built. She sends one warm message, and he forgets every night he spent feeling ignored. She asks how he's been, and he acts like nothing ever happened, flinging the door wide open the second she knocks. That single move teaches her something dangerous, that all she has to do is disappear for a while, come back with a little sweetness, and he'll reset completely. No consequences, no growth, same access as before. So when she returns, don't punish her, and don't perform indifference just to make her sweat. Stay calm. If she asks why you went quiet, a simple, steady answer works best. I noticed the energy had changed, so I stepped back. No lecture, no scorekeeping. Then watch what she does next, not just what she says. Does she show up with consistent effort, or just enough curiosity to check if you're still available? That difference tells you everything. Closing, the real point. Here's the part that matters most. Her coming back isn't the win. The real win is that you didn't abandon your own standards just to get her attention back. A woman returning because she got curious is very different from a woman returning because she finally understood what she almost lost. And only one of those is worth rebuilding around. Your silence was never meant to turn you into someone frozen in place, waiting by a phone. It was meant to remind you that your life doesn't stop just because one person got uncertain. And if you can hold on to that, then whether she comes back or not, you've already won the part that actually counts. If this video gave you real clarity, do 3 things right now. Hit like so this reaches more men who need to hear it. Drop a comment telling me which part hit hardest, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Because next time I'm breaking down the exact signs that tell you whether she's coming back for you or just coming back for the comfort of knowing you're still there. You won't want to miss that one.